guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about the tank lore. So I'll tell you everything I know about tanks and make it literally dummy simple. So let's go. Before the video even starts, I want to define on what is a tank. On Wikipedia, a tank is a tracked, heavily armored and turret vehicle with heavy armaments. So I'm going to keep it that way. So no turret tank destroyers, self-propelled anti-aircraft and self-propelled artillery. Also no special duty vehicles, right guys? So let's go. Many people believe that tanks first appeared in World War I, but I believe otherwise. Tanks history dated further than that, way back in the Renaissance. And we have proof by that because there's some drawings of Leonardo da Vinci of a circle-like vehicle. I don't know how to describe it, it's weird, like this is it. And it's only ever have like 2 wooden mock-ups in Italy. So people don't even know it existed, but it exists as a myth, and I think it's worth mentioning. So after that Renaissance era tank, a few more thousand years, World War I broke out, and human history never seen a war this scale before. Hundreds of trench lines spanning also hundreds of kilometers, and people locked up in muddy trenches, artillery barrage, and heavy casualties. Often, when taking a trench, like only a few meters would be hundreds of lives. So taking the trench without heavy casualties is impossible. So the British commands its engineers to make a vehicle that is big and strong enough to take enemy fire and shield the infantry. So in 1916 we finally have somewhat resemblance to a tank, which is the Little Willie prototype. It was never made it to the final production due to the heavy nature that it brings, that because of that thing, that it's make the tank hard for it to cross trenches because it would just duck its head first down on the trench. So the first tank ever made it to battle debut in 1918 in the Battle of the Somme. It's the Mark I British heavy tank. It surprised the Germans very much that they are scared of. They think that it is a divine intervention or a monster of some sort. So they run away. Despite that, the tank had a lot of technological difficulties and some broke down before reaching the front lines. So even if that is the case, it still pushed the German way far back and reduced significant casualties for the British, signaling the tank era is arrived, rendering cavalry absolutely obsolete. So when World War I is over, there is a new era, the interwar period, where it is brewing for World War II. So in this era, all nations began developing their own tanks, like the British, where they make the Mark I, make their tanks smaller and have purpose. Cruiser tank, which is fast and lightly armored, is used for reconnaissance missions, and infantry tank, big heavily armored tanks which move very slowly to cover the infantry and follow their walking speed. The Soviet Union also experimenting a lot of weird tanks. It includes the ground land ship, the T-35, the T-28, and a lot more massive tank with multiple turrets. And Germany, despite the Versailles, they still secretly developing a plan which would make the Allies scared for their lives, and that plan is called the Blitzkrieg. In 1939, World War II broke out. Massive German mechanized units blitzed through Poland, with a lot of force, taking Poland rather quickly. In 1940, the Germans used the same blitzkrieg. They blitzed through the entire Europe, blitzed through France, who would see Germany as a subordinate, as someone who isn't an equal. But Paris fall in 2 weeks, Denmark fall in 10 hours, and in 1941, the Soviets, caught in absolute nightmare, falls to Germany, almost losing Moscow. Because of that encounter, the Soviets, thinking of something, changed tank warfare. The Soviets got hit hard and got absolutely baffled. But they soon come up with a plan that would ruin Germany's whole career. Medium and heavy tanks, 2 brand new type of tanks, and a brand new tank philosophy, slope armor. The sloper the armor is, the more armor effectiveness a tank will have, even if the plate original thickness is not very big. So in World War II, there are 3 main types of tanks in my opinion. There are light tanks, very light, lightly armed and very fast for reconnaissance missions. Medium tank, who as the name suggested are intermediate at everything, making it very versatile for every mission. Heavy tank, big, strong, thickly armored, good main armament, but go very slow. They usually lead offensive and helps infantry break through enemy lines with heavy fortifications. I think World War II is where tanks really shine. They have a lot of renovations, tactics change, and large mobile mechanized units that make the slow-moving trenches of World War I obsolete. So next, let's go to the other era of tank, where Soviets and the USA battled. The Cold War have arrived, and a lot of nations realize that having a lot of type of tank is a logistic nightmare. They need every type of tank for each mission, which will not make their mission more effective. So they came up with one tank, and one tank will be used for every mission. Main battle tanks. The tank that is the medium tank but buffed up and better in every way. They have thick frontal armor, good mobility, good armaments, and also very versatile. You can use them for like every mission. So they come up with these main battle tanks. They start mass producing tanks on a massive scale. For example, the Soviet T-54-55 series have more than 100,000 units produced. The Centurion and the American M48 pattern is also a very good example of when an MBT does it right on the job. So when this country come up with these MBTs, the light tank, medium tank, and heavy tank type is soon phased out of the service, with the T-10M being the last heavy tank to ever exist in the Soviet Union. The Cold War main battle tank doctrine continues to be used till today, with the grand example being the Russian T-90M, the American widely known M1 Abrams, the German Leopard 2A7V, and many other tanks. Even though modern warfare have drones, which many people call it's the tank's time to retire and tanks has become obsolete because of it, I think in the near future the tank still gonna be used because there are no vehicles in military that can replace its role. So even though it is obsolete by today's standards, drones will not make tank phase out of service, in my opinion. As a fun little bonus for the video, I'm gonna talk about experimental tanks and tanks that would never make it to the production line. First, I want to talk about the P-1000 Rata, the Germany dream of a 1,000-ton battleship on land, which have a lot of turrets, a 218mm cannon taken straight from a battleship. But why it don't go to the production line is like pretty obvious, look at it. Next is the Antonov A-40 of the Soviet Union, the flying tank. No, I'm not talking about the CAS planes like the Su-25 or the A-10 Warthog. I'm talking about tank that flies, or more accurately, glide down the ground. The A-40, which is like a T-60 light tank, they attach a glider to it, and not like the many experimental tanks, they actually glide down. But the main problem with that is because of the lackluster plane technology in the era. So they cannot support the weight of the tank, so the tank ended up landing with no ammunition, even though it is armed with like a 20mm gun, rendering the tank no ammo, and it cannot fight anywhere because, well, obvious reasons. Next is the American jumping tank, which is here. It's ridiculous. It's a armored box with a leg that jump over enemy trenches, but well, why this don't make it to the front line, which is pretty obvious. I mean, the crew have to be Superman to operate this thing without literally throwing up everywhere. And hey guys, if you actually made it to the end, thank you very much. I very appreciate it. So if you like to support my work and if you want to see more content like this, smash the like button and also shot the subscribe button with a 100mm tank smoothbore cannon. So if you want videos more on this topic, you can comment down below because I have a lot more projects that I want to do. So I hope you guys thrill. See ya!